I'm just chewing my smoothie, sorry. So yeah, I'm going to start doing this mask making tutorial, and I'm going to take it all the way through from scratch. So the finished product is going to look a little something like this. I like the birds on the cheeks. It's a good pattern for it. Other good patterns would probably be like stripes, or like this is nice because it's a big print. And they are cute. I put the pattern in my comments. It's from craftpassion.com. And what I did was I actually just took, so I went to the website, craftpassion.com, for this free sewing mask. So this is what the website looks like. This one. And then I've downloaded the PDF of the pattern here. And then I actually just held a piece of paper up against, hi, whoever's joined. I just actually held a piece of paper up against the actual monitor screen and then put it on full size 100%, the PDF, and then I just traced it right off my screen. So I didn't even have to print a separate pattern because I don't have a printer. And so it seemed very reasonable. So I'm just going to show you how I did that. So I've got the paper. I make sure my thing is on 100%. So I make sure that the PDF here is on 100%. Boop. And then I just put the paper right up against it, and hey presto, voila! There it is. One problem that I might have during this tutorial, hi Mirren, is that my battery is plunging. So, then on my phone a lot, the battery is dying. But anyways, I was just saying, like, I've put this piece of paper up against the pattern on my laptop screen, and then I can just trace that pattern. So I have already done that. And mine looks like this. You can see I came in, this is a little bit more curved, but I've come in a little bit more to make it a little bit tighter around the mouth. Hi! And so I've got, this is my pattern. A little bit tighter on the mouth, that's going to be the center line of the mouth, or of the mask. And I'm going to get my fabric. So I'm using this lovely green fabric. And I'm going to go ahead and put this guy down for a little bit. Put my phone down for a minute. Mask making tutorial. Hi Vivian. So I just want to choose a really lovely section of the fabric. I'm just going to smooth it right out. Like this. Hold on 1 second. So I'm actually going to use a slightly smaller one. This is a child-sized one. So at the website that I gave, there are 4 different sizes. And I'm making just one for a kid now. So I think I'm going to choose this cute little green bird. And then I just kind of hold the pattern down and cut out around it. So I get my fabric scissors. I've been in like a mask making frenzy, and so there's like fabric everywhere all over my room. It's a big mess. It's a big mess. So we're gonna need 4 of this. 4. We're gonna need 4 of these because we're making a lining as well. So we're gonna need 2 with the curve facing to the left and 2 with the curve facing to the right. So I'm gonna make the lining first. I've just got it here. I'm gonna take my fingertips onto it, and I have found that I cut up best. I think I cut up. My battery is plummeting. This is very annoying. I hope it works out. Yes, I find I've cut up and then I cut to the left the best. And so I want to kind of arrange my body around the placement of my pattern so I can make that happen. My phone is plugged in, by the way, but I'm still maybe having problems. We'll see. So I'm going to cut along the top curve of my little mask. And then I'm going to move myself around, or I could just cut actually through the fabric here. That'll be slightly easier. Make sure it's still lined up. Cut around the corner. And so I've got I'm going to make 4 total of these little guys. Again, so it's going to be 2 to the left, 2 to the right. I'll do my other left facing one. Bum, ba, ba, bum. Actually, I think I'm going to do the lining. So I'm going to do a right facing one so I have a complete left and right side for the lining. And then I'm going to, so that is kind of my more boring section of the fabric, like with less birds and less colors. So again, this is to be done along with my video. Or if I go too fast, then you can totally just pause it. I'm coming around the corner. I'm going south. Important information broadcast to you from Dublin. I think we can all agree. And then right down the middle. Zoop, 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 zoop. I'm going to do 2 more of these. So I've got a left and a right now, a left and a right now. And then this is going to be my outside layer that I'm going to do. So I'm going to just pay a little bit more attention, I think, to what the fabric looks like. So this is my left facing side. And I can't resist but putting that cute little bird right on the cheek. Cute little bird. And so again, you're going to want to like adjust yourself around the direction that you're cutting. Snip, 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 snip. Snip, 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 snip. And one final. Snip, 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 snip. And then one other final. So that was my left facing one, so now I need a right facing one. And yeah, I find that 2 birds is maybe a little bit over the top. But here is a nice chunk of the fabric. Snip, 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 snip. Snip, 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 snip. I'm using the very handy foot tool. So if you're equipped with one of those, you might stick it onto your pattern and then just one last little slide up the way. Snip, 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 snip. Cool. And then so I've got my 4. I've got my lining ones, which are these, and then I've got my main ones, which are these. And so I'm going to put them face to face together. So the print side is together. And then I'm just going to flip it the other way so the back side is together. Somebody saying hi. Hi, Imogen. Hi, Bob, Sarika. It's kind of comforting to honestly live stream. Like, I've been fighting this urge to put myself on live stream. Not really fighting this urge, more like observing this urge. Hi, Greg! To put myself on live stream quite a lot. And I've never had that kind of urge before. But I guess it's just about me looking for people. People, where are you? Where are you? And so anyway, I've got my two outside edges and I'm putting them together. So I'm matching the two curves. The first thing I'm going to do is going to run a line down the curved edge of the mask. So I'm going to sew that together. So this is where we're going to lose each other if you don't have a sewing machine. But I think that the solution is going to be to stop, hand stitch. Hi Linda Moran, it's nice to see you. So stop, hand stitch here. And then I'm just going to put this stitch right up this line. And on my other one as well. So again, my facing edge of the fabric, my fancy edge of the fabric is facing into each other, the print edge, and I'm just going to line those right up. I'm doing a child size one right now, so it's a little bit smaller than yours is going to be. There's a few different sizes available again on the link I put. And here we go. I'm going to move over to the sewing machine. It's a big journey, but I think I'm gonna do my best. There's my smoothie, there's my tissues, my headphones, my coffee. I find it quite important to drink a lot of coffee when you're doing the old sewing. I am already like pre-threaded and preloaded with the thing. And I'm gonna go ahead and it's gonna get loud for a second. Drop my presser foot, turn my machine on. Hi Celine! And I'm gonna knock it down there. And then what I learned quite recently is that you don't even have to cut them apart when you can just kind of line them up, and then it ends up making, like, if you're making several masks at a time like I was, then it just makes like this whole kind of like prayer bunting sort of stream of masks. It's very satisfying. So there it is. I am recording it for posterity, so if you don't have a sewing machine or you had to like slow down and get your thread in order, then that's pretty acceptable. Okay, so the next section that we have is a cutting section, followed closely by the ironing section. And so if you want to turn your iron on and let it heat up, I have just turned my iron on to let it heat up. So I'm going to do some trimming of this cloth. So the first things first. If you turn it this way, this is my lining fabric. If you turn it this way, you'll notice, of course, that it's a curve, and so that means that the fabric inside has a greater expanse than the fabric that is providing the seam. And so we need to trim down the inner edge of this, and I'm just going to do that by kind of scalloping it. Hi, Erica Braca. Like this. Boop. 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 Probably if I was more professional and proficient at this, I could, or had a longer blade, I could just do this a little bit more easily. I almost cut down a little bit low there. Must focus, must focus. And then, okay, not only am I going to cut the scalloped edge here, but I'm also going to cut, because we're going to have to accommodate 2 layers of the mask in a matching curve. And so this edge is going to be curved, this top edge is also going to be curved as it's sewn together. So I'm going to make some slits into this fabric so the bottom edge of it, the hem edge of it, can spread. So I'm going to go right in quite close to the thread. Can you see that? Yes, it's just quite close there. And I'm going to give it kind of a good hearty snip, like it's a little bit worrisome, but a good hearty snip. If you go too far, it just means that your hemline, like the bottom of it, is going to be a little bit raggedy. So it's not the end of the world, but I find it's quite annoying to have to go back and cut again if I didn't go far enough. Yeah. It's an opportunity to explore your natural levels of caution, you know? And so then again on my top edge, I'm going to do the same thing. Snip. And I'm going to go try to go like right in perpendicular to the curved edge of it. So like right in toward the middle. And I do 3 or 4 or 5 of these, kind of depending. Cool. And so now I have got slits in this edge, the curved edge, slits in the bottom edge, and I've got a scalloped hem, a scalloped seam. I'm going to come over to my trusty ironing board. Oh, actually, sorry, I have to cut the second one as well. I'm going to come over to my trusty trusty sewing machine and do that same process again. So I'm just snipping off my extra thread, making a little scallop, another little scallop, another little scallop, like scalloped potatoes, everyone, like scalloped potatoes that my mother used to make. Round we go. Around we go, and then again like little slits directly in so that I can accommodate the curvature of the object. I bet you all thought I was going to say the curvature of the earth. Fooled you. Sorry, I'm silly. And then again the other side, top side. Yeah, the more curved it is, the closer they're going to be together, but again not more than 5 anyway. Cool. And then we're going to come over here to the iron. I prop this up. And I'm going to iron this seam, the curved seam. It's actually a bit too bright, isn't it? I'm going to iron the curved seam first, which is the center seam. This there. Featuring my iron. And I'm just going to take this right along here with some steam. Oh, I think I forgot to say earlier that cotton is the best thing. From what I read, cotton is protecting like 70 or 80% as effectively as a surgical mask. So you kind of want a stiff, heavier cotton and 2 layers of it. So I'm on layer number 1 right now. This is my outside layer, has a little birdie. I'm going to flip over the short seam here, and that's where I'm going to start my ironing. So I'm just going to press it down, iron away. I like to go across the bottom next. No, I don't, that's a lie. I like to go to the other side next, so the other short side. And cross it back. Does that really count as a lie, or is it just a mistake? These are the questions we have. Thank you, Miriam. She said, well done. I'm going to fold it over then along my bottom edge. So this one. It's right in the middle here that it's going to get trickiest because that's where it goes around the curve. So you're going to have to be aware of that. I'm going to do half of it at a time. And I kind of pull it apart a little bit as I get to the center of the seam. Keep on going, keep on going. Fix my corner. Top quality content provision here on the internet. And then I'm going to do my other side, my top side, and it's starting to look so cute already. This is for a little boy. And I'm going to flip it in on the top. So the top, like the bridge of the nose, is definitely the most challenging part. So you kind of do, like, the fabric is essentially in flaps right now, and you're going around a corner with it. And so you have to just like kind of press it down into shape as you iron. And again, I'm working with the curves of this. My center seam is ironed all the way over to one side, just flattened, 2 layers on one. Oh, and then I've done halfway up there. I've done halfway, and then I'm going to come in from the other side as well. Or from the middle, either way, it doesn't really matter. Actually, I am doing from the middle. Sometimes I say things and then I find that I'm slightly wrong. So I'm going from the middle. One time I had a dream where I was folding laundry. Can you imagine? What a waste of a dream. Folding laundry. One of my least favorite things. Okay. So I'm done with the one and I'm going to do the other. So it's here. All of my like little flaps are kind of all flapping away, but they're all neatly, tightly ironed. And I've made all of my little arrow slits with the scissors up the way. And now I'm turning to ironing my lining for my mask. So I'm just going to come straight across and just nudge both edges of that seam down. And again, my battery is not great. It's been plummeting since I started this, and so I would just like everyone to know that I was very well charged when we first met. But now I'm a little bit less charged. Getting a little depleted here. So if it goes off in the middle, I'll be quite irritated. That is the truth. Well, will I be? I'll probably try to let it go right away. But it will be a bit embarrassing, and so I hope it doesn't happen. But it's technology's fault. My battery's plummeting. And planned obsolescence and all. And now I'm on the bottom edge. I'm coming around, so I've done my 2 edges, my 2 ends. I'm coming around the bottom. I'm flattening in that center seam. I'm poking it with the tip of the iron. And I'm going all the way down, making sure that I spread along the curve of the hem. And give it the occasional loud blast of steam, because it's good for it. Helps it hold its shape. And then the most critical top edge. Hi Rika, you're welcome. How you going, Rika? And so yeah, folding the top edge. And I can kind of press it down with my fingers. Make sure the iron is on the right side. Hi Molly Jones, I bet you're making amazing masks in your house with all your lovely quilting that you do. Yes, I'm spreading out along this curve. The last few things I've made, I sort of forgot about ironing hems in. And I was pinning everything, and it took ages. And then I was really happy to watch a tutorial myself and to be like, oh yes, I only have to iron this. So it's a massive time saver. Doesn't really work with all fabrics. But it works with some. Works with cotton, which is what we're working with now. And again, I'm pulling along the curve to flatten the curve. Because flattening the curve is such a relevant thing to do now. Get it? Get it? Yes, we are flattening the curve. Okay, so my curves are flattened. My curves were always pretty flat now, to be honest. And I'm coming around here to my sewing machine again. Now, when I started doing this, hi Paul! When I started doing this, I was insecure about it, and so I sewed it together in pieces. Like I sewed the 2 edges first, and then I went back and like ironed the bottom, and then I came and sewed it, and then I came back and ironed the top, and I sewed it. But now I have gotten more confident, and so I'm doing it all the way around. So, sewing machines, ahoy! Spin it around the the corner, my very favorite part. And then, yeah, I'm on the tip of my nose right now, the bridge of the nose, and so I'm just going to slow down and be very careful. There. I'm just making sure that everything is folded in properly before I pass the needle over it. It's almost folded in properly. I guess that this tutorial assumes knowledge of a sewing machine. I think that is safe to say. Here I go. Around my second corner. Coming on down, almost on the home stretch. Gotta put the crystal down. And now the home stretch of the lining of the mask, and then I have to sew the... I'm going to go backward and forward a few times to close it off. And then my inside is done. And did I actually bring the other one over here with me? Yes, this is it. Okay. Press the foot down. Needle engaged. I have run out of the right color of thread, and so I'm sorry to say that my stitch work is very much on display. Wouldn't say it's amazing. And once again, I'm at that center seam, and I just want to pay a little bit more attention. Bunched up a little bit there. Oh well, it's okay. Okay, so now I've got... No, I only did 2 sides. I'm a fool. I have to start the second side over. Hold on 1 second. Be right back. Now, on the final home stretch, on the final stretch home, here we go. She's coming around the corner. She's cruising up the men's way. I've been to a lot of races. That part was a lie. Also, I haven't been to a lot of races. I don't know if I've ever been to an animal race. I don't think I have. But I would like to be at one of those dog obstacle course things. Those are amazing. I don't know if anybody has ever seen, or how many people really know Donna Haraway, but one of the things that she does is run her dog. But she's a really amazing and interesting kind of philosopher, and she wrote the Cyborg Manifesto, and she has like I've talked about it before, I think, but she has such a lovely concept. Hi, Ali. She has a lovely concept of making kin rather than making family, or like, because kinship is very much like earned, and you don't take it for granted so much but family you do take for granted, and it's happenstance. And I think she had interesting times where her kin were all very different people from her family, but they were her family also, so it's a nice concept. Okay, so this is my lining, and this is my outer one. So I'm just going to put them facing in together like that. Clap. And then I'm going to pop it out like this. And then I'm just going to willy-nilly, like not even pin it or anything. I'm just going to go right with it together. And I can see that there are a little bit of different spaces in both sides. So they're not perfect. Which I guess is emblematic of human imperfection. No, I'm not very good at this, that's all. So I'm going to make sure that my top line here, the curved edge of the top line, is together. That's my most important one. I find I just don't care so much about the other ones. So I'm going to work my way right down here. I don't need to iron it. It's just all already there for me. So my two edges together. Again, I want that's my inner facing and my outer facing. Okay, but I'm going to go a little slow and a little bit carefully. So again, my top edge together. Sewing machine on, needle dropped, presser foot down. Over the top edge. You always want to start with your needle dropped. My bottom layer seems like it's shorter than my top layer for some reason. Not totally ideal. I'm paying attention with a steely eye, I'm sure you can tell. I'm going to come down. I actually have done a kind of good job on that one because the two seams are pretty much parallel. They didn't even cross over. This one is not going to be perfect though. Hold on. I mean, who really needs perfection anyway? Who really needs it? I think the good is the enemy of the perfect, or don't let the good be the enemy of the imperfect is a good guiding principle. I think I said that all wrong. Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good, so don't let your ideal of perfection, of course, be the thing that keeps you from doing anything. Because we never start off perfect and we never really get to perfection. But getting the job done counts for a lot. I tell you, I've gotten much faster at making these masks. So maybe we're not talking perfection, but speed. Cool. That actually took remarkably less time than I thought it would to get me to this stage. I've gotten much faster at this. Cool, so now I've got this kitty little bird on a little mask. And again, this is a child size one, so it's small and cute. I kind of brought my seams in a little bit here. So what I first did for sewing, for like how to attach them, was I made a few, I'll show you. I made a few with, excuse me, with elastics. Where are they? Yeah, like this one. So there it is. It's got two elastics attached. And I wore this to the grocery store. There's the other side of it, just for the record. Yeah, I wore it to the grocery store. Where is it? There it is. And it was fine for about, probably 40 minutes, but then it started to get quite sore on the ears. And then I was thinking, what else can I do? And I got this, I have this ribbon on hand. And so then last night when I went to the grocery store, I actually just tied the ribbon onto the elastics so I could keep using that same mask. And I haven't decided if I think it's a little bit better because then like you can hook the elastic over your ear and then like kind of slide the band up above the head. And that was actually really comfortable for the whole time yesterday. Hi Paula! Happy birthday! And But also, one could conceivably just put the ribbon right on. I'll use the one I just made. I can't find the one I just made. Oh, here it is. I could just put the ribbon right on here. And I think that would be kind of okay. And then it could just tie up behind the head. But you might need like a clip or something to secure it. So I guess I'll go ahead and put 2 things of ribbon on either end of this for purposes of demonstration. So I hadn't really believed I would get this far, so I hadn't planned what I was going to do with it. But of course I got this far. So here's my ribbon. I guess I want long enough to cut, and I know this ribbon is going to fray, and so I'm going to have to like seam the edges of it as well. That seems very long to me, but if you're going to need to tie it, I guess you're just going to need to tie it. So I'm going to cut it on a slight diagonal, and then when I sew it, I'm just going to put a couple little seams. I'm going to cut it, put it flat, and just put a few little stitches in so that it doesn't fray. I'm going to go backwards and forwards. And that's also going to have the effect of like toughening the ribbon up, so it'll feel more proper. And I'm not doing the same line every time. I'm doing slightly off, so it's got more of a surface area covered by the thread. So you could just use whatever ribbon you've got lying around, whatever fabric you've got lying around, crazy combinations, can't go wrong. Cool, so that seems done to me. So that's just one edge. So that's my working edge that I just made. I don't even really see it. There it is, yeah. Working edge. I know it's very bright, but it's a perfect place for my phone. I can't resist. So I'm going to give myself a little seam there as well, or a little fold over. So I'm folding this over, and I want to make sure so I'm wearing the mask, and I want it to come out of the corner of the mask, going up to the diagonal. It's going to go over the ears and around behind the head. And I want to fold this over as well because, again, it will fray. So I'm going to get 2 layers sewn on there. So I've folded a little triangle back so I have a double layer of the ribbon. So I suppose if you're following along with this mask making tutorial at home, then the pause button is going to be your friend. It's good to have friends in these times. Even if it's just the lowly pause button. Okay. Maybe like this first one. Yeah, that'll do. To seal my seam. And then I'm going to take that away. Oof. All kinds of crazy extra threads there. So it's not a super amazing job, but it's fine. So that'll be there. I'm pulling it back. Again, this is a child size one. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the other. So I want the same amount of thread about, or a ribbon about. I want to make sure I'm accommodating my ends. I'm going to make a little cut. And I'm going to sew it on. second part, and then that's actually it. It's actually done. Cool. My thread just lost, my sewing machine just lost its thread. I know it looks like I'm concentrating very hard here, but really inside I was singing, "Let me entertain you," because I'm silly. Okay. Okay, so that's kind of it. This is for, I think, like a 9-year-old kid, so it's a little bit smaller than me. But it should be able to tie up around the head. Oh, I wonder if that will fit. Yeah, it totally will. It's good ribbon for tying. So make sure you've given yourself enough. I almost gave myself enough, but it's only that it's a good ribbon that will keep it together. I'll just go grab the other one as well so you can see the other job that I did on the elastics. So this is the way that elastic looks. It's just sewn right in. I did turn it up. Make sure you can see. I did turn it up underneath there. Or I folded it over to make it a little bit more streamlined, I guess. I'll put that one on as well so you can see what it looks like. Again, it's not incredibly comfortable to wear around the ears for longer than 45 minutes or so. Oops. But there it is. I like it anyway. I think that might be it done. Yeah, I think that's all. Thanks for everybody or anybody or anybody who stumbled across it or, you know. That's all. Bye. Enjoy.